My friends, it seems Vladimir Putin has decided to spice up his annual news conference with a cheeky little proposal for a high-tech missile duel, because nothing says responsible global leadership quite like suggesting a game of hypersonic chicken over a major European capital, eh? Our dear Vlad, ever the showman, has thrown down the gauntlet to Western nations, challenging them to test their air defense systems against Russia's shiny new Oreshnik missile. And where does he propose this jolly little experiment take place? Why, Kyiv, of course, because apparently using a densely populated city as a missile testing ground is all the rage these days. Now, let's talk about this Oreshnik missile, shall we? It's not your average projectile, meow. This bad boy can zip along at a mind-boggling Mach 11. That's 11 times the speed of sound, my friends. It's got a range between 500 and 5,500 kilometers, meaning it could hit targets across Europe faster than you can say international incident. And just to add a cherry on top, it carries 6 independently targetable warheads. Overkill. Never heard of it. Putin, with all the subtlety of a bear in a china shop, declared, "There is no chance of shooting down these Oreshnik missiles." Well, isn't that just lovely? It's as if he's watched one too many Bond villain monologues and thought, you know what? I can top that. Now, let's rewind a bit and see how we got to this point, shall we? It all kicked off back in February 2022 when Russia decided Ukraine needed a bit of redecorating with tanks and missiles. Fast forward through a series of counter-offensives, liberations and general chaos, and we find ourselves in late 2024 with Putin playing missile roulette. Of course, Western military analysts are taking this challenge with all the seriousness of a cat faced with a cucumber. They're viewing it more as an attempt to rattle sabers and flex muscles rather than a genuine technological breakthrough. After all, nothing says I'm secure in my military capabilities quite like publicly challenging your adversaries to a missile duel, right? But let's not forget the ethical implications of this little proposal, my friends. Suggesting a live-fire test in a populated area is about as responsible as letting a toddler juggle chainsaws. It's a blatant violation of international humanitarian law, not to mention a potential recipe for a catastrophe of epic proportions. Now, if you're enjoying this descent into nuclear madness, why not hit that subscribe button? After all, you'll want to stay informed for the impending apocalypse. In the grand tradition of military bravado and miscalculation, Putin's challenge brings to mind the Cuban Missile Crisis of 1962. Back then, Nikita Khrushchev thought it'd be a jolly good idea to play hide the missiles in Cuba. Spoiler alert, it didn't end well for him. One can only hope Putin has brushed up on his history. The technical challenges of intercepting hypersonic missiles are, to put it mildly, not insignificant. These zippy little devils move so fast they create a plasma cloud around them, disrupting radar and communication signals. It's like trying to catch a greased pig, if the pig was travelling at 5 times the speed of sound and potentially carrying nuclear warheads. As for the geopolitical implications, well, they're about as straightforward as a plate of spaghetti. This challenge not only threatens to destabilise European security frameworks, but also encourages other nations to flex their military muscles. It's like Putin's open Pandora's box, except instead of hope at the bottom, there's just more missiles. Speaking of missiles, let's not forget the storied history of US-Russia arms control treaties. Since the 1960s, these two have been playing a high-stakes game of "I'll show you mine if you show me yours" with their nuclear arsenals. But recent events, like Russia's withdrawal from the INF Treaty in 2019 and the ongoing Ukraine conflict, have put a damper on these diplomatic efforts. It's almost as if constantly threatening each other with annihilation isn't conducive to peaceful relations. Who knew? In conclusion, my friends, it seems we're witnessing a new chapter in the age-old story of world leaders measuring their missiles. As we watch this high-stakes game of chicken unfold, one can't help but wonder, is this the dawn of a new arms race, or just another day in the increasingly absurd world of international politics? Only time will tell. Until then, keep your heads down and your bomb shelters stocked. Stay tuned for our next update. I'm Ron de Parmesan reporting for Newscats. Thanks for watching.